And here we are.
All right. So, a little side note, we are now Granny's neighbors. So, it's very convenient because I went to drop off Tyson so we could record this episode. So, this is very convenient for us.
Chilling.
Can't chill for too long, though.
Okay, hurry up.
It's not like
So, anyways,
watch him all day.
gotta talk real fast. Gotta talk like this. Gotta get it in. Gotta get it in. Gotta get it out. Here we go.
All right, so we're going to talk mainly about our evacuation elopement today. We're going to do the full story in detail because I did put some snippets on social, so I think people have maybe a roundabout sense of what happened. But let's get into the nitty gritty of what happened and when it started. And
yeah, well, I definitely don't want to.
And the takeaways we came back with and our new perspective on life. It's not.
Just tell the story then.
Our wedding plans were on 10/10/2024 because 10/10 is a sentimental number to us, and that was our plan this whole time for months and months and months. And we had, how many people do you think we had flying in? Maybe 20, 25?
Your brothers and their wives and their kids and your sister and
my dad and your friends and Jackson. So we had probably 25 people flying in. And then we had about 70, 75 local going to show up. So it was about 100-person wedding we had. We had it planned on Siesta Key Beach. We reserved the pavilion and a beach spot out on the beach. And obviously we had these plans for a long time. And then what do you know? Hurricane Helene rolls in, right?
No, it was, Helene, but Debbie before that, then Helene.
It was a tropical storm, right?
Or yeah, no? That's what they say. Okay. Yeah.
So we've had all these storms, and then Helene rolls in and obviously does some damage. So, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even thinking, but the beaches were closed. I think the storm hit on September 27th.
Also, the reason why the beaches stay closed during a time like that is because they don't want a bunch of tourists on Siesta Key or Lido Key while cleanup crews are trying to clean the area up. So if you bring more people to the beach, that just is more traffic and more people stopping to take pictures, and it's a mess. So what they do is they shut the beach down so everybody knows before they go out, hey, the beach is closed. So no traffic on the island, helps clean up, helps things get back to normal quicker.
Yeah.
So
then, I mean, I guess in my mind, I wasn't thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, the beaches are closed. I didn't even think about our wedding not being able to happen on the beach, So the week before our wedding, I called the Parks and Rec and I was like, hey, I have an event scheduled on 10/10. And they were like, oh, and they like the inflection in their voice is kind of like, ooh, like, you might be in trouble here.
Yeah.
And the beaches were closed, but they had said that their goal was to get the beach open by 10/7 on October 7th, which was a Monday. And this was before Hurricane Milton was even a thought. I think we're even developing. So in my mind, what was going to happen was that the beaches were barely going to be reopened after Helene, and we were still going to be able to follow through with our plans. With, it might not have been like as pretty, like there might not have been as pretty sand or whatever, but in my mind, it was like, oh, it will still happen. Like they're going to open the beaches right in time. People are still going to be able to fly in on Wednesday the 9th. Do it on the 10th and then have the weekend. But that did not happen.
Well, there was still predicted that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it was supposed to be raining like 50% or 70% chance, but then Thursday it was supposed to clear up.
Yep. So all of the hurricane, the NHC was all saying, there's another storm after Helene. But then it kept decreasing. Like at one point it was like, oh my gosh, good news. It went down from 70% to 30%. So then I'm like, okay, like hopefully this is just a storm that's going to go away. And then we're still going to be able to have the plans. And again, that did not happen. No. And it kept getting actually worse and worse and developing more and more to the point where it became a tropical storm. And a week before the wedding, a Thursday on the 3rd, is when everyone kind of started falling off. First one was my brother and his wife and 3 kids. And I was so upset because in my mind, I'm like, oh, the only one's not going to be here. Because in my mind, it's still happening. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to cancel. And like,
They
they're
canceled because, okay, go ahead. No, why did they cancel?
Oh yeah, the reasoning was, it's going to be rainy. The beaches might not be as good. This is our kind of our yearly family vacation we're going to take, and I don't want to spend all this money, and the beaches not be good or fun or even open and debris everywhere and not busy or happening on the key. And so I was like, dang, I was like, that sucks, but I totally understand. So they were the first to cancel. And then slowly every day, the storm, Hurricane Milton, started getting worse.
Yeah. And then
this was
everybody,
the weekend before.
Yeah, much the flights couldn't come in. Nobody could fly in. So pretty much we knew that we weren't going to be able to get married on the beach. So then it was either last second we're able to get married on the beach because it becomes a clear day, or we're just going to have to impromptu everybody at the courthouse that's in town and willing to be there, and then we'll go out afterwards. So that was kind of our plan.
That was plan B. Knowing we'd have to have a plan C.
Yeah.
So tell us about plan C. So then the weekend kind of rolls around. Everyone's canceling their stuff. The storm is getting worse. So it's Monday the 7th. This is kind of when everything takes a 180 turn.
Monday morning, I just went into work and talked with a few people, and someone was like, well, make sure you have gasoline in your car. I'm like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. No worries. And the lady that's a teacher and works for the city, she came in and she's like, no, this could get really serious. Like, we're not even going to open up. Some of the shelters might be closed, and we don't hardly ever do that. So she's like, if I were you, I'd get you and your family and just get out of here if you can. So I'm thinking, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm not worried. I'm not even thinking about it. Well, when I got in my truck that morning, when I was coming back home for a little bit, I noticed my gas light was on, and no big deal. I'll just stop over here and get gas. Well, that gas station didn't have any gas. And then it was 3 or 4 other gas stations that I passed that didn't have gas. And that was on the Monday morning. So luckily, the one right by the house before I got home had gasoline, and I filled up. And that's whenever I came home and I said, you need to go fill up with gas right now, and you need to ready to leave because we're going to leave. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, kind of didn't believe you at first. I was like, are you sure you're not overreacting? Like, we have to stay. Like, we are supposed to get married on Thursday. We can't skip town. And you kept being more and more adamant, and then you to make that call for the family. I wanted you to make the call, and I wanted to follow through and not argue with you back and forth. Like, you're the man, and you're the leader of the house. And I was like, hey, if he says we need to leave, we got to leave.
Best case scenario is what do you do? And I would pose this question to you or to anybody else, but what do you do whenever you are in a fight that you can't win?
Run.
You run.
Or you don't go into the fight.
You run, or you duck, or you hide, or you protect yourself. That's it. Whenever you're facing a bully or someone that's bigger and badder than you, there's only a couple options. You run or not to get hurt. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's what you do.
So we ran, and it was just like we said, it's like you have to decide early on, what are you going to run and protect yourself fully, or are you going to hunker down and try to weather the storm and be in it? And I just know from other hurricanes we've had, it's so not fun being in the middle of a hurricane, shuttering up the house, boarding up the house, getting all the supplies, going to the store. There's never any water, never any toilet paper. It's just like the day of a hurricane is just the longest day ever because it's usually dark because your house is boarded up. All you hear is a tornado outside all day. And it's just so not fun. I was like, I don't want this to be how we spend our wedding week, basically. So we reached out to some friends of ours.
We were leaving either way. Like, in my mind, this storm was going to be the worst of the 3 that we had just had 2. So I thought it was going to be the worst of the 3, and I thought everything was going to flood. We live right here on this golf course, and there's water right behind our house, and I just imagined everything being a foot underwater. Yeah. I know that's bad, but so I prepared for that, put the shutters on the house, took everything up. And then what was it? What were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Oh, and then we reached out to the Jacksons.
Oh, well, basically we were leaving either way. We were leaving, and I just kind of reached out to them and said, hey, we're evacuating if your place is open. If not, I have a friend in Pensacola. Like, and I even thought as soon as we were leaving out the door, he messaged me. It's like, go ahead, go, go. So even in my mind, I still thought their place is very close to the beach. I was like, man, if this thing turns and goes north, we could get it too. So we might have to even keep going, might have to go further. So,
but that didn't happen. I was pretty set that wasn't going to happen. I was like, I think we're good. We're not, there's not even any color on the map where we are, but I understand what you're saying about like, it could take a sharp left and head a different direction. But
I mean, they typically know the what of the path that it's supposed to take, but
so I mean, I think my biggest feeling was I was having extreme guilt because we just moved in, like I said in the beginning, down the street from Granny. And I'm sure she was just expecting us to, be fully like here for her, hunker down together, get her whatever she needed. And like, I just felt extreme guilt of leaving her here alone where she couldn't leave the house. Obviously we offered like, you want to come with us? She's like, I cannot leave. So doesn't leave the house. So yeah, we got her some water and bread and she had a little bit of food, but we did our best. But I was feeling guilty leaving her. And then all of our family, they chose to stay, and I'm like, well, we are leaving, and this is the Monday before our Thursday wedding. Packed up everything, just necessities. I mean, just basic clothes, Tyson's stuff, his pack and play, his baby Brezza bottles, Berkeley's food, bowls, stuff like that. And then the very last second, I put our wedding outfits on the couch, like on the back of the couch, and I was like, just in case, let's bring this. And what's even funnier is that we
left the house,
leaving the house and forgetting the wedding stuff. Back of the couch is like, oh my gosh, I forgot the stuff. So we had to come back and get it. We had the outfits, your ring, we had the marriage license in the car. But like not even a thought in my mind about the wedding, honestly. I was basically just being like, okay, the whole thing is canceled. If we have to, we'll just go to a courthouse somewhere alone.
Yeah, you still
wherever we are.
Wanted to get married on 10/10, so you said doing it at the courthouse will be fine.
How are you feeling leaving our friends and family? And
I don't know. I mean, gotta do what you gotta do to protect yourself. If there's no me to be had anymore, then what can you do? You know what I mean? It's like, so it's fight or flight. So
fight or flight, no pun intended.
That's what you gotta do. So I just knew that there were sunny days up north, so we're just going to go north. And whenever that thing is done, we're headed back home. We're going to clean stuff up and get back to our routine. That's it. So usually I've only evacuated twice. I lived here when I was a kid and been here since 2018. That was the first time I've left in my adult lifetime.
Evacuated? Yeah.
That's the first time I've evacuated for a hurricane or a storm in my adult lifetime. The last time when I was a kid, we evacuated. We went to Daytona Beach. I'll never forget. It was Hurricane George, I think, was the hurricane. So we could look that up, probably in the 90s. Yeah, there's not too much traffic on the highway. Like the highways are actually pretty smooth. Of course, around Tampa and St. Pete, it was pretty busy. But further north you got, the more it kind of opened up. But in those small towns, what happens is those stoplights, people just get backed up at those stoplights. There's so many people going north and trying to leave that those stoplights get backed up. So what they have to do is the police have to get out there and actually escort the traffic, which helps a lot. So shout out to those people. You talk to the sheriffs, and that lady basically said, we have to, what did she say? We have to be the gas station babysitters. We have to babysit the gasoline because babysit the pumps.
People get in fights and all that.
Yeah, well, I can see how it happens on Monday. People, I mean, I was starting to have a little bit of, not anxiety, but just like, it's one of those things. It's kind of like in your human nature when you see other people kind of panicking and filling up gasoline cans and everybody's on the phone. There's gas over here. It's like, it's weird. There's a little bit of panic in people.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of spreads, and that stuff is contagious. So that's why I
didn't want to be in that.
Rule number one is you always remain calm when you can. Remain calm.
So it's weird that they can predict these things so far out because it just feels like it goes so slow, like waiting for a storm to happen. So I mean, it's good because you can prepare, but then also you do send people in a panic because you're like, this storm is coming next week. You better go now and get everything. So everyone goes at once instead of spreading it out. Like, okay, zone B, you guys go to the store.
Yeah, but how lucky are you that you know what zone you're in?
Yeah.
You even have a zone.
Yeah.
I mean, in Florida, everything is pretty much on floodwaters and plains. It's like, you know, if you're near the water, you dig a foot or two and there's water. So it's like, it's very unstable. And yeah, there's water everywhere here. So
Yeah.
once it rains a lot, it can be troubles.
So we got out, and I think in my mind, it was like, okay, we just get out of this panic state. And I just had this vision in my mind of like, because we got ahead of the traffic pretty early. We left at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. I think a lot of people were still deciding if they wanted to leave on Monday or Tuesday, and Wednesday for sure were the worst days to leave. So we got ahead of the traffic, and I could just like envision us on the road and like everyone's behind us. Like we were just ahead of the traffic, just enough to where we didn't hit a ton of traffic. We were able to get gas. We had everything we needed. And then we arrived safely at our destination, not really knowing the plan. There was really no plan. Everything was up in the air, which you don't really want on your wedding week. You don't really want a category 5-4 rolling into your city. Like on the map, it was going right over Sarasota. So
For that,
can't escape the lawn, people.
it's the most annoying thing. So if anyways, people are so smart. Fix the noise on the lawn equipment. Silent lawn equipment is the way to go. Please.
I had that idea and I wanted to call it yawn equipment.
Yawn care.
Yawn care.
So
yes,
yeah.
Yawn care, because you could still yawn and go to sleep even when there's young
there you
people
go.
around
There's
you.
the idea in the name. Take it and run with it. You heard it here first. Yawn care.
I mean, everything was just up in the air. It was like such a weird feeling. It was a weird feeling. I'm just so glad that we have good attitudes. We typically don't let what we can't control get to us as far as, you know, our attitudes or our
one of us is usually on point and one of us isn't on point, but one of us is usually good and if the other one's not. Yeah. So it's like,
but in this case, I feel like we were both
good.
Just accepting of the fact that what can you do? I think ultimately it was still our goal, my goal at least. I wanted to get married to you on 10/10. It was like, there's no way this is going to stop us.
We made it work.
Even if we were in town in the hurricane, I would have been like, okay, Josh, come over here. Like, I still would have done it no matter what. Even if we just went to Josh's house and like, hey, marry us right now.
Really? Well, yeah. Hindsight's 2020, so we didn't have to do that.
Were you not like, oh, we'll just reschedule the whole thing?
We already said we would go to the courthouse.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I'm saying if we, for whatever reason, had stayed and weathered the hurricane,
just thought we were going to the courthouse.
I was like, all right, we're still going to do it on Thursday.
Yeah.
So
either way, we did it. So it's done. The deed is done.
We'll just say a little bit more details about that. So obviously, every one of our friends canceled. So we have some hardcore friends that were like, no, I am
family
coming no matter what. They're gonna have to cancel my flight. They're gonna have to stop me from getting on the plane. A couple of
my cousins like, well, I'll just drive, and if it gets bad, I'll just stop in a hotel and stay for a day or so if I need to. I'm like, you're fine. You don't need to spend a week getting here. Yeah.
So what ended up happening was my sister was able to, instead of flying into Sarasota round trip, I said, hey, maybe you could look into flying into Fort Walton because that's around where we were, and just meeting us there. And she still wanted to come no matter what. She's like, you are, like, she was telling me, she's like, this wedding is happening on 10/10. Like, you are getting married. So I was like, okay. Like, I kind of was even like, maybe not. I don't know. So she was like, no, it's happening. So she called the airline and she explained the whole story, and they changed her travel plans, which should have costed, if she would have done it online, it was going to cost $2,200. They comped it for her. She flew in to the airport closest to us.
Yeah. Picked her up.
She got ordained on the internet for free to be able to marry us. Because, I mean, we could have had someone at the courthouse marry us, but I really wanted someone we knew to do it. Like Josh is going to do it for us here. But,
yeah.
So she got ordained. She changed her travel plans, flew in, and we still made the whole thing happen on 10/10. Very, very intimate, which ended up being pretty good. I mean, intimate as far as like there
Not
were
a lot of
dozens of
people.
strangers on the beach, but
Can see them.
we kind of blocked that out. And you want to tell them about what Granny and April did?
They conspired against us to get the news channel involved to our story about us evacuating and getting married on the beach, which was cool. It's kind of funny actually, because I was against it at first because I was like, man, I don't care to share this with the world, whatever. Like, I want it to be intimate. I want it to be our moment, So it's like, here we go. I'm just trying to have a moment with my wife, and these people are news channel, are here. But what ended up happening was like, man, I'm lucky that someone else is here and someone else is here to document this, because if those two people weren't here, it literally would have been me, you, and April.
Yeah.
And Tyson.
Yeah.
So
I didn't notice them really. I mean, to me, it still felt like just me, you, and Tyson.
Yeah.
It's really like,
for sure.
I was actually so proud of myself because usually can be very distracted, or like I'm like anxious because I don't like other people are watching me in a very intimate moment, but I was pretty in the zone. We wrote our own vows. I wrote my vows. I was crying. You were crying. And like normally I'd just be like, oh my God, let's get through this. Hurry. I wanted it to be, like you said, whenever the news stuff started happening, I was like, okay, I want this to be like, I don't mind them coming and doing it because I think it is like a very inspiring story, and it's like our love story, and I think it'd be cool to document, but still trying to have that intimate moment. Like one news station wanted us to have microphones on, and I was like, no, I was like, doing that. I was like, you can be there because I can't stop you from being there. There's other people there, but like you got to stay back and like you got to be out of our way, and then we will talk to you when it's over. So. I wanted it to be our moment and have our little intimate moment. But then I was like, but if y'all want to show up, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk. We'll hang out.
Went from, going to be a very fun weekend with all of our closest friends and family, doing the beach, playing volleyball, going out, being at each other's Airbnbs, to like all that was canceled.
To people losing their homes and boats and trees down. And
that was another thing that I was feeling is like, I was really trying to, we deserve to be celebrated. Like we deserve that. And so I was just going back and forth.
Well, we deserve to have a good time and enjoy each other. And then it's like, a hurricane is coming on our wedding day. And it's like, sure, we have friends and family here, but we want the best for them. They know that. We want them to be safe. But like you said, this was supposed to be our time. So we just had to make an impromptu move. That's all. That's life.
But I was just saying, like, my feelings were like, I'm so happy and this is amazing, to, oh my God, like I'm anxious and stressed and feeling guilty because I'm here in paradise in Pleasantville, no cares in the world, while our family is over here stressed out, anxious, going through a hurricane. And I don't know, it just sucked so bad because I wanted us to have our moment. And I think we still did a little bit, but
I think we did a lot of it.
But it came with a side of guilt a little bit. You're like, nah, I don't feel guilty at all.
I did what I needed to do to get my people where they needed to be. And I gave everybody an option, and I gave everybody time. And so everybody chose to say, and everybody.
So we're married next.
Is that what you do? Is that what married couples do?
No.
They do.
We kiss. So we're married. And sealed and delivered.
Yeah, and then we come back home after this hurricane, and we're got to move from our apartment into this house.
I'm ready for a slow down.
I said, Kayla, what time do we have? She said, well, we have until midnight on Monday to be out. And I'm like, we're going to use every last freaking minute, it looks like. And we did. And we were there till like 9:30. We were up early that morning, and I got to work. Working on cleaning out the apartment.
Maybe it's just one of those things where you look at it and you're like, oh my God, that's not going to be that bad. Like, we can do this ourselves.
That's what she thought. I didn't think that. I thought.
Moving. Okay, so we had 2 weeks to
go. I thought.
To get into our new place. So I was like, well, that's awesome because we can slowly move over, which we did, but we had to pause all that.
So spent about 3 or 4 days moving.
Yeah, half of our stuff was in the other place while we were gone.
A week hurricaning.
And then we come back, we have 1 day to get the rest out. We used every hour.
It's okay. It helped us kind of declutter as well. So, and when you see all these like couches and bad stuff like debris on the side of the street, it's a perfect time to throw all your stuff out. You know, just like, oh, you blew out. You know what happened with that?
I don't know how that couch got on the curb perfectly on the curb.
That lazy boy's doing over there. It's in mint condition.
I was trying to give furniture away, and I don't know why you were saying no one wanted to take it. And you're like, this isn't the right time. I was like, this is the perfect time to give away furniture. People need it.
Furniture sitting out on the street. You can take any of it you want.
Yeah, but that has been damaged. Ours was not damaged by the hurricane. So whatever. It's all right. We got everything over. We are in our new place. It's so beautiful. We have this natural light coming in. So this might be our new podcast spot on the couch.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch.
2 people, 1 couch.
How do you feel being married?
I feel different. How do you feel? You said you don't feel different. That's weird. Why don't you feel different? Because I feel different being married.
Because nothing has changed.
You said that you don't feel different because there was no ceremony or no. Then that would validate you feeling different.
Just think, getting married usually is something that it's like this build up to an event. And then you wake up, you're like, and you just are reflecting back on walking down the aisle, everyone looking at you, having a party.
You did all that stuff. You just didn't have all the people there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
so you walked down the aisle, you wore your dress. It
was just a little different.
But yeah, it's a lot different.
Not to say I didn't like it. I did enjoy it. I didn't wake up being like, I'm a new woman.
That's sad.
Why?
I felt like a new man.
Yeah.
So
I think, you always say, I don't want that one day to be this huge day. Like, I feel like.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people, they get married and then they just keep posting that same marriage stuff like year after year. I'm with your life with your partner. And you can have a better random Tuesday than you did your marriage, So
your wedding, you mean?
I mean your wedding day. So I don't want people to get so hung up on a wedding day. It's like you got to a wedding day is one out of thousands. So enjoy that day, but let's have some fun other days too.
That's why when I say that I don't feel different is because I feel like our relationship.
Yeah.
Has been progressing to this moment this whole time, and it's like a slow progression for me. And I already felt like we were married in a sense. And I obviously know you are going to be my partner forever. And it wasn't this this huge thing that was building up. It just felt like, obviously I wanted to be celebrated and I wanted us to be celebrated, but I didn't feel like overnight a huge difference that I'm now married, because I feel like getting married is the ultimate commitment to one another. And obviously we are going to do that, but
you don't feel any different.
I think people hype up the wedding more than they hype up a marriage. Hype up the wedding day instead of hyping up the marriage as a whole.
Yeah.
So I want to hype up our everyday marriage life as opposed to hyping up that one day. Like every anniversary, it's like, remember that one day? It's like, no, remember like the last Wednesday we spent doing some random crazy fun thing that
went around the golf or something.
Yeah.
Got to go get my clubs. I haven't seen anybody out here since we've been talking earlier. I haven't seen one person on this fairway yet. So I don't know who is paying for this golf course right now, but it's probably our HOA fees. But because ain't nobody swinging any clubs today.
That is our evacuation elopement love story. It's obviously not typical. Like our relationship is not typical.
We didn't even really say where we went.
On the podcast, we haven't yet? Or in general?
I didn't say. We just said we went up to the Panhandle.
Well, we went up to, well, it's technically, I don't know. There's so many names. We're in Seagrove, but it's Santa Rosa Beach. But it's like right next to Seaside.
Right next to Watercolor, right next to this.
Right next to Rosemary Beach. So I just say Seagrove because that's technically where it is. But it's Santa Rosa Beach.
It's beautiful up there, and it was perfect weather. It didn't even rain. Yeah, couldn't believe that there was a hurricane going on down here in 7 hours north. It's paradise. That's Florida for you.
I just feel like had there not been a hurricane and that was our original plan and like it was all perfect. The fact that my mind was on Sarasota potentially going to get wiped out. You know what I mean? Like that's where my conflicting. I didn't have
Listen, man,
I didn't have one strong positive emotion or one strong negative. It was like I was dead in the middle of like positive, negative. So I feel like, again, going back to like, you don't feel different. It's like if it would have been this high moment for a week because there wasn't anything else going on other than us, I probably would have. But the fact that there's this negativity also brewing for a whole week and we're just waiting for the storm to pass so we can kind of know how to react with our friends and family and like what damage is going to be done. I feel like I would have felt different, but so yeah, that our week was perfect. If we hadn't have known anything else going on, it would have been perfect. The weather was perfect. Sunsets, sunrises were perfect. The day went perfect of our wedding. The news station came out, like freaking fairy tale wedding for anyone that's trying to elope. But I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Love you.
I love you too. Questions.
Some random questions for me.
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with our hurricane story. Is your favorite podcast besides this one?
Show? Someone's show?
I guess. I didn't know they're all shows, but whatever you like to listen to. House.
I like him.
Why do you like Lewis House?
There's a good variety of people on. I mean,
do you like his guest?
Yeah, I like.
Or do you like his interviewing style?
I actually wouldn't say I love his interviewing style.
Just like the kind of guest that he has.
Just like the guests he has.
Favorite teacher?
Was my favorite teacher?
Who was your favorite teacher?
They call fire off questions. I say my Miss Martin. She was my kindergarten and my second grade.
Miss Martin was your favorite teacher.
And then she turned to Miss Estes, but she was Miss Martin when I had her. She loved Noah's Ark. That was always the theme of her classroom. You know, the teachers have themes. So hers was Noah's Ark.
So Miss Martin was your favorite teacher?
Yeah, I was a teacher's pet. I was always a teacher's pet.
Oh, I could see that.
She loved me. I think I saw her in the last few years at Walmart.
Really? Did she recognize you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or do you recognize her first?
We both recognized each other at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Did you cry?
No. No. I was like, oh my.
I had question. Who's the best teacher you ever had? Like how did that?
The best one?
Yeah, the best teacher.
I mean, clearly she stands out, so I would have to say probably her.
There's a difference between your favorite teacher and the best teacher. I don't know.Maybe there's not, but
I mean, another one that stands out is one from college, but he was super weird. But I was business, and I had him 2 or 3 times. But I will say, I originally signed up for his class because I heard he's super easy and never gives tests. So I was like, I'm all in for that. But
so that's why you signed up for that teacher. Really? Yeah. Wow! I see your whole theory behind things.
Trying to skirt through.
Brown was the teacher. You said your teacher's pet. Then take the easy classes. All right.
He was good. He taught us a different style of business, and he never had like notes or traditional style. He literally would sit on a desk with his legs spread and his belly hanging out of his suit, and he would just talk. And but he would tell us real advice. You know, just. I don't know. Just felt like I was like, okay, I like this kind of
first-hand experience.
Next book we're gonna do chapters 1 through 6. You know. So anyway,
I had a professor one time. His name was Dr. Doug Baker, and he said, the first day of class, I think he said, "Anybody know why I like this textbook?" And someone in the very back, "Because you wrote it." He says, "That's right. It has my name on it." So if you guys say, "Well, it said that on page 75," no, it didn't. I was like, dang, this guy's smooth. And then I think my favorite teacher, he might have been the best teacher too. Well, a lot of good teachers, but Mr. Hine was my physical science teacher in 7th grade. And I feel like, you know, if I think about all the subjects from that time or when I was younger, I don't remember a lot of like things, class material, but I do remember all his stuff, like almost a lot of it.
That's good. So that's your favorite teacher? Or
Mr. Hine, first day of class, you can ask all the kids about this. He would take a baseball. He would stand in the front of class. And he would throw it over everybody in the class. And it would hit the filing cabinet in the back of his class. Boom. Everyone's like, what the heck? He's like, inertia.
Inertia.
We're going to talk about inertia. It's like, oh, sweet. All right. Anyways, favorite subject to talk about? Favorite thing to talk when you just get to talking to someone and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to this person about this.
I think probably two things simultaneously, because I think passionate about, or what you are obviously very knowledgeable about, is probably your favorite thing to talk about, I would assume. So I like to talk about, so you could sum it up as emotional intelligence. I love to talk about that. Obviously I still have a lot to learn myself, but I feel like I've learned so much through all that, through like therapy and stuff like that. And it's kind of like I can tell now like what people are dealing with, if that makes sense. And maybe the work that they need to do on themselves when they're.
So like a psychologist. So you like to talk about psychology.
Like for instance, yeah, psychology. Like for instance,
sociology.
I just interviewed April again, and that was the last episode that we had. And I can just now, like I used to be in it where I couldn't see, but now I'm like outside of it, and I've done a lot of work through like relationship stuff. So like I can like clearly see
her relationship stuff.
Yeah, I can clearly see what she's going through, why she's going through it.
Did you tell her these things?
Oh yeah. It's like, okay, what I'm hearing is this. Like you are acting like this, you feel like this, so this. Like anyway, so I just like to talk about emotional intelligence, or like, like self-worth, emotional intelligence people might have, or stuff like that. So
or Kobe or Jordan. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
What do you mean?
Air Jordan or Kobe Black Mamba Bryant?
I guess Michael Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. Type of car or vehicle?
Like Range Rovers for some reason. I always wanted the big.
You would pick the car that has the most mechanical problems.
Old school Bronco.
I think Range Rovers did a car lot for a while. Those were the ones I was always taking to the. It might do 80 and feel great in there and just be cruising. It is a nice car.
I mean, I just like other cars too, but if that was like impractical, I could obtain that, and it's not like a super expensive. That's one I would choose.
Why is it important for you to be married to me? I think we kind of said this, but why do you think it's important to marry me?
Yeah, like I did say, I think it's the highest form of commitment to someone. And I know we got this of like, your opinion. If you want to share your opinion of like why it's weird to not get married, but
I don't think it's weird to not get married.
Weird, but it's said in our last time we talked about this that didn't get published. It's like if you're not getting married, you're just going to the edge without jumping, and it's like you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, oh, I can leave you at any time if I wanted because I'm not fully committed to you. So
both people can do that. Yeah,
I think just fully, it's like a full commitment to you, to us, to our family. I want to have your last name. Like I don't want to have separate last names. That's super weird to me. And yeah, just like ultimate form of commitment. And I've said in previous episodes, like you are the one I would want to go to war with, and no matter what craziness or ups and downs that we face, I think we are able to figure it out together. So I think being married is like you're showing that you're a team, and I'm not 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
What are you most proud of in your life?
Probably my resiliency and my I guess being resilient in the fact that like when I go through hard times or have hard times or setbacks or whatever, I feel like I handle it pretty well. And I don't go to like negative vices. Like I don't go to alcohol or drugs or bad habits or the wrong crowd or anything like that. It's like I face it head on, and I just like I do it in a healthy way.
How do you handle it?
I think listening to positive messages help me a lot. Like I'll listen to a good sermon or worship music, books, journaling, meditating, being like so aware of like the problem or situation I'm in, and being like, okay, what is this showing me? I always go back to, I think my favorite, not even a quote, but a phrase is like, you're never being punished. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going through this, but I'm not being punished, then what is it trying to tell me? So I think I'm just good at sitting in the situation I'm in and like really trying to learn from it, as opposed to just being like, oh my God, I am doing this. I'm going to go to the casino and gamble my money away. I'm going to go to the bar and drink all night, or you know what I mean? So
you think most people that are going to the bar or the casino are just dealing with their problems in a poor fashion?
I wouldn't say poor. It's just different. I'm not going to label it good or bad or right or wrong. Just different.
Probably not good.
I mean, I don't think it's good, but I'm not going to label someone as like, you're handling your problems wrong and I'm doing it right. So
yeah.
Maybe that's right to them, and the way I do it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Those What is the best piece of advice you can give to someone?
Say your triggers are your teachers and you're never being punished.
Okay. Nice. Your triggers are your teachers and you're never being punished. Yeah. Something triggers you, then you need to figure out why it triggers you, and then you can handle that. Or what do you do for a living, Kayla?
What do I not do? Well, I have a job. I have a salary job, which is executive assistant. So I help someone assist in their lives. I do that. Podcast. I'm a full-time mom. I do a little bit of Arbonne, help coach people a little bit. So I have my hands and toes in a little
everything.
Things, yeah.
I think that's it. Who's your favorite basketball player besides me?
I don't know. I guess Michael Jordan.
Cool. Skateboarding? Or I'm trying to think of something else, but I can't think of anything.
Skateboarding or BMX?
Skateboarding or BMX?
Skateboarding.
There you go.
Yeah.
Questions for me?
Well, let me look at your questions, and I want to ask you right back. I want to ask you, what are you most proud of in your life?
There are probably several different things, but I would say overall, what am I most proud of in my life? That's a deep question. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give you a fake answer. I think being able to go back to Oklahoma and talk at my dad's funeral was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, and I think I'm proud of me for the way that I handled that. But I think I'm just proud of the character I've displayed with the hand that I've been dealt. So it's like, you could probably attest to this, but going to PC North, the high school that you went to, is like, people might be driving these big, nice, fancy cars and you're pulling up in your beater, and it's like, well, why is everyone so far ahead of me? Or, you know what I mean? Why did other people get this and I'm here? And it's like, but for me, it's like that my mom and dad were both working class, and much everything that I got, I've kind of done on my own a little bit. Like I've kind of done it on my own a lot of it, and I'm just proud of the character and the person I've been throughout all of that stuff. So
that's good.
That's a hard question. I had to think about it a little bit more, but yeah.
All right. Why is it important for you to be married to me?
Important to me because I knew early on that if you gave me the chance, like I said before, that I would love you. And ask me like, what do you want? And I'm like, I got it. Because you and Tyson and having a home and a job to go to every day, and it's like I'm kind of full in a sense. It's like I'm abundant, so I just think having my partner, and think us being able to create a future together is way more important than what either one of us could do on our own. So
and we're greater than the sum of our parts, what I like to say.
Yeah.
We're stronger together than individually. So is that what your answer? Why you want to get married? Why it's important for you to get married?
I wanted to get married to you to fulfill the commitment to you of being your husband, and just not being one foot in, one foot out, and taking things to the next level.
What's the next level after this?
I don't know.
Hit the lip.
No, we have to figure it out.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, like, there really isn't anything else we can do to solidify our commitment to each other, right?
It's not true.
Oh, you can have a blood oath?
Now that you've told everybody about it.
Does that have to do in secret or what? It's like shake hands. I guess we can do a blood oath. Anyway.
I don't even know what that means, but all right.
Either, but it seems like something that is the next step.
I'm going to write these questions to ask you, but actually ask myself next time, since
I thought that's what we were doing. Clearly, it was just for me.
Yeah.
One more. What's the best piece of advice you can give someone?
I would say treat others the way you want to be treated. That sounds good in theory, but I would say different rules for different people. Calm, to do something, do it joyfully. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was chills. That was good. And I'm excited for our new little setup here. It's way more comfortable.
You like this? We'll just keep it rolling. Go get me a drink or something. Oh, hey, what do you know? Shoot, man.
Can I have a sip? Taking a backwash?
I ain't got another 10, 15 minutes in me. Man, I'll make you laugh too hard.
Down. It's okay.
Anyways.
I'll go get our 8-month-old down the street at Granny's.
Down the street. Our boy down the street somewhere. Walk. In a year, can't even walk yet.
We have him on the corner selling lemonade.
You're talking. See, that's why I married you right there. That's why I married you. She's a hustler.
I'm a hustler, baby.
She's an entrepreneur.
I just want you to know. Love you.
Would you date me if I was a cowboy? If I was a cowboy,
You mean like a fake cowboy or not?
I would never be a fake cowboy.
Well, there's a difference.
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of fake.
One
cowboys.
time, this is a true story. I went into the International House of Pancakes, IHOP of Meridian in Oklahoma City at about 2:30 or 3 in the morning. And the entire place was full, and it was full of cowboys.
Real cowboys?
Real cowboys. And it was because the rodeo had been going on or something. And I was just amazed about how many cowboy hats were in IHOP that night. And I shouldn't have even been up that at 2:30 in the morning or whenever I was in there. Deserved to wear my cowboy hat around those guys. They were real cowboys. They had
belt buckles and
they were the bull riders. They were, yeah.
I don't know if I could ever do that. I don't know.
I want to ride a bull though. I want to try to ride a bull.
Okay.
So
that'd probably make you a real cowboy.
If I ride a bull, I'll be a real cowboy.
Yeah.
Just one time.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
8 seconds.
Yeah, 8 seconds. And so you're last.
It's kind of intense though. Like if the bull has the real horns, like we might have to have some rules because I don't want to have ones with the horns. Like, they dehorn them so that you don't get.
Oh, well, yeah, do the ones that
and then
dehorned.
And then, like you're supposed to wear a helmet or face mask now, but only like 2 guys wear the traditional cowboy hats and bull riding.
So that's a real cowboy.
There's 2 guys out right now that wear the cowboy hats. For real. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a freaking badass. And he fell off the bull and the bull stepped on his face and smashed his face. And he was messed up. And they were all like, they had him in the medical ER in the medical tent. And one of his good friends came up. He's like, "You need anything?" He said, "Yeah, I need a cigarette." And he sparked up the cigarette in the medical tent. And he's like, and they're like, "Hey, you can't smoke in here." He's like, "Damn." He said, "I could do whatever the hell I want." Yeah. So anyways, bull riders are tough, man.
Would you not marry with me if I was a cowgirl?
Dang, I don't know. That would be different. Because
barrel racing cow.
And honestly, to me, like this will sound very shallow from me, but I like style. Like I'm really about like people's style. And I don't care, like style fits you, then it's cool, right? Or like, I don't know. I just like people that have a good style, and I think you have nice style, and that's
cowboys.
That's it's attractive to me.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be the same for me. I'm not like, I don't know. But I've never seen you dressed up as a cowgirl, so I don't really know.
Maybe we should try it out for a week.
I don't know. It might be cool.
The thing is, though, they really wear the same thing every day, just maybe a little different. Like, that's not really a style to me. Style is when you can, like, you kind of change and you are trendy. And like cowboys and cowgirls, they just wear boots, jeans, belt buckles, plaid shirts, and cowboy hat every day.
If it wasn't a style, then there wouldn't be fake cowboys. It is a style because people are imitating it that aren't farmers or cowboys and cowgirls, and they're wearing that.
Yeah.
So it is a style.
That's true. But they're trying to make it like trendy cowboy.
I don't know what they're trying, but they're putting on a cowboy hat to be like that, dude.
All right. Well, maybe we should try it out for a week.
Oh,
I should go get all the get up and get up.
Maybe we should giddy up.
Giddy up on my horse.
But right back to Oklahoma.
Let's go join your sister Reagan at the farm.
Yeah, that actually sounds nice. We should go right now.
All right, let's go.
Let's go feed those horses.
I love you, babe.
We're going to get deplatformed for being too redneck. Hillbilly. All they do is talk about farm animals. The farm.
Been changed and influenced. Bye.